Streamed with Melanie Wednesday. Thursday, I had my own in-studio guest, Nikki Huntsman, who I'd scheduled a while back. So I had her on, and she's not like in this part of the internet, so I wasn't gonna spend my whole episode with her going over this stuff. So that's why that happened, and Camelot knew I had that stream already. And then Nikki was an hour late, and not like giving her crap, but like it was an hour late, which pushed everything back later, and I just didn't have time to go on his stream after that. So I didn't bail on Camelot. I didn't purposely not have Brittany on. I wasn't trying to do an ambush gotcha stream. That's not really my style. And I know from experience that that's how you lose friends. Is by throwing somebody on and at the last minute being like, haha, just kidding. We're not here to talk about your wedding. We're here to, you know what I'm saying. I also need to touch on the fact that I was given conflicting messages about what was going on with Jeremy. It's hard to ascertain the gravity and the truth of a situation when I'm being told two different things. I have one very good friend telling me, look into this. And then I have another very good friend telling me, this is a nothing burger. This is just drama. And then when I tweet what's going on with Jeremy, the responses are cuck, cuck, cuck. He's a cuck. Okay, I don't care about his like sexual life or his marriage, or you can understand how that's confusing. That's a lot of different conflicting messages. It was 8 months ago. He sent me coffee. He was one of 12 sponsors who sent different food or coffee or whatever for the green room for the event. And so I thanked him, just like I thanked all the other sponsors in the body of that event, if that makes sense. So I thanked Coffee Brain Coffee in the content house description. It's not like I'm thanking him on every single stream. I think somebody may have taken a screenshot of that and ran with it to make it look like I'm sponsored by Jeremy or sponsored by Coffee Brain Coffee. It was that one event. He gave me coffee for a 48-hour live stream 8 months ago, and that's it. I hope that clears that up. Another important thing to keep in mind here is that I am not the streamer or person that I was 2 years ago. I'm contrary to what a lot of you think. I am not terminally online. I'm taking care of a 2-year-old all the time, all day. I don't have him in daycare. I don't have him in preschool. He's completely unvaccinated, so I can't put him in daycare or preschool. I have to watch him. He's so much rather be a good mother and a bad streamer than the other way around. And sorry. So I don't have time to do the research that I used to do or should do. I do a lot of I've done more now. I do gaming streams. I do reactions to body cam footage. I do content that doesn't require a whole ton of prep work because I know I don't have the time to do the research and stuff. And I've got hours of shows to watch for FNT every week. And then I'm still trying to find time to be with my husband before he takes over for the night and I have to start streaming. So I'm just not, you might think, oh, it's lazy, but I'm reacting to body cam footage. I'm doing gaming streams. Yes, I still do have some interviews, but nowhere nearly as much as I used to do 2 years ago before the baby. So, and if you'll know, people who follow me know that I am not doing morning streams anymore because that's when I'm with him. My streams are all basically outside of FNT, 9 p.m. or later, because that's when he is asleep for the night. Some of it is pertaining to that, and I'm not going to go into great detail of that because that's not everyone's business, but some issues have come up with that. I mean, I don't know how many of you have had a again, and I'm not saying this as an excuse. I'm just trying to give you guys a sense of like where I'm at. And I mean, this, I don't know how many people have had a family member murdered in their home, but it's kind of torn my family apart. And it's something I deal with all the time, and I don't talk about it all the time because like I'm not trying to fucking bring everybody down, but there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of other personal stuff that I've been going through in the last few months that has very much distracted me and taken up my headspace and kept me from doing things like catching up on the quartering. And I've seen people make the argument of like, Chrissie, how could you not watch all your friends' content? You stream with all these people. You're friends with all these people. My algorithm is not my friends' content. My content is my algorithm is Major League Baseball that I watch with my husband. It's like it's ways to remake your backyard, and it's like toddler content. It's like why won't my toddler stop nursing at 2 years old? That's my content. That's my algorithm. That's what's passing through my YouTube. So that for people who can't possibly grasp why I wasn't up on the Jeremy drama and why I was not in a position to be calling Melanie, making Melanie speak on it. That's why. Another point is I also used to work for somebody controversial. I worked on the Anthony Cumia network on the Compound Media for a few years, and I think I had a show on there. When did I start there? Maybe it's like 5 or 6 years. And so I understand what it's like to work for someone who's controversial, for years. Even now, even though Compound Media has been over for 2 years, I still get shit for working for Anthony Cumia. He's got himself into a lot of controversy, and he has had a lot of drama that I have had nothing to do with. But yet the internet still demands I explain or speak on his behalf, or what I'm trying to say is like, I know Melanie worked for somebody controversial, but I didn't think that reflected on her because I also used to work for somebody controversial. I used to work for Anthony Cumia, and a lot of people didn't like him. A lot of people have said horrible things about him too. So I keep that in mind. And for those of you that are upset that I am only streaming on Sunday instead of Thursday, look, I had my planned show on Thursday. Friday is when I go on Friday Night Tights. I was asked to not go on there, and no shade to Gary, like that's what he needed to do for his show.
And Melanie is essentially co-signing it and not really addressing it on stream and reframing it like it's just trolls. And I don't think it's fair to say that it's just guilt by association.
Yeah, it's definitely not. But she also, like, Melanie comes off extremely manipulative in this whole situation.
Well, as Chrissie said in the intro, she said that Melanie was kind of saying, oh, it's a nothing burger type of thing versus... Nina had messaged Chrissie about it. She had the stream about it where Nina showed the screenshot of the tweet from Jeremy that said that he was coming for my scalp, Yellow Flash, and a few other people. And Chrissie's coworker, (S), more than one. But anyway, so Chrissie had seen this. And when I saw this, after I got off the phone with Chrissie, and she had gotten done telling me, like, well, I didn't know stuff. And then I see that stream where Nina is breaking the entire thing down where, hey, like, Jeremy deplatformed people. Here's a screenshot of the tweet of him going after Brittany, Yellow Flash, and other people. And then it's like, well, I didn't know. It's like, well, in my opinion, to Chrissie, as I said on the phone to her, I think it was more than enough information. And I get and Chrissie is being honest when she's saying that she has a lot of in real life stuff going on. Like, I'm going to be honest and fair. She does. And obviously she doesn't want to like talk about it online. But anyway, so it's like this inconsistency. And it's like, one more thing. Specifically, Nina had sent a message to you, Chrissie, on the day that you had Melanie on, and she said, well, Chrissie, you're going to ask Melanie about Jeremy. And then you didn't respond to it. So I understand where you're saying, I didn't connect the Jeremy thing was connected to Melanie, but Nina connected it for you and had explained it 2 weeks prior. And then 2 weeks before that, you responded to Melanie's tweet. So that I don't understand how it's the case that you didn't connect it. And I think that's how other people view it too.
And I totally understand how people are viewing it. I did not connect all of Jeremy's drama and bullshit to Melanie. I did not. When I interviewed her, it was to speak on these other topics, and I didn't think she was responsible for what Jeremy did, if that makes sense. And
so when Nina messaged you, what did you think?
I wish that I had, like I said earlier, I dropped the ball. I should have recalled that conversation with Nina. You know what I mean? I had, like I said, I have a lot going on, and it's not. I should have had all, crossed all my T's, dotted all my I's. I should have,
yeah.
I should have been more. I'm thinking I'm just talk to her about what I want to talk to her about, which is my conversion, which is not something I have to research, because I just went through it. And
you said there was conflicting things, right? That Melanie was saying oh, it's a nothing burger, essentially, right? But Nina 2 weeks had told you otherwise. So if you're saying that you had her on anyway because there was a confliction, then that doesn't make sense to say that therefore you didn't know. But even if we did assume that, right, and it's you just didn't remember from 2 weeks ago, even though it's serious, I think that would be something to remember when he's saying he's going to go after me and he's already deplatformed people. I think that's on your responsibility, especially because we've known each other a long time and we worked together a long time, to take something like that seriously. And when Nina's telling you as your friend, so she even told you the day of, she told you before she had her on.
Into it, and one friend is saying it's a nothing burger. It's like that cancels each other out. And then when in my tweet where I was like, what's going on with Jeremy? Everyone's like, he's a cuck. He's a cuck. It's like, I'm not interested in his love life. Okay. I think anybody can understand these are conflicting, confusing messages. And the friend I'm about to do a stream with is saying it's no big deal. So I'm kind of going to go with that, because that is who I'm going to speak with. If that makes sense.
So why wasn't it a red flag for you when you have two conflicting things? Because you said you were thinking about the Nina thing, you're thinking about the Melanie thing. They're saying conflicting things. She's saying it's nothing burger. Nina's like, Chrissie, this is serious. Why is that not a red flag to look further into?
I mean, I know, Brittany, you're probably wishing, Chrissie, why didn't you handle this like I would have handled it? And I wish I had your brain. I wish I had your talent for investigative journalism. I wish I had your talent for deep dives. It's why people love you, Venti. It's why you have a whole chat calling for you, is because you're so good at what you do. And it's why you're fun to watch and you're entertaining and you're fun to have on stream. I can't go back and change anything. I can only try to illuminate what was going on with me at the time.
Right. So I understand you're saying there's your intent there, but obviously there was a misstep. And when you're saying things like, hey, I'm being bullied into it, and I'm apologizing for having Melanie on, it's not that people want you. I mean, maybe some trolls, but it's not about you having Melanie on. It's the fact that she was on and then given no pushback, as she is essentially co-signing and laughing with Jeremy. She's replying to his tweet about them getting the platform.
Jeremy wasn't on.
Well, hold on. So on Twitter, when the Kino Casino got deplatformed off of YouTube because of Jeremy rallying for that and threatening to use his connections as a channel with 2 million subscribers, he posted a card that had casino theme on it right after they got banned. It was the #1 trending thing. This is his job. He knows it's happening. He's been honed in on this for weeks at this point, arguing with them, going on drunken rampages, deleting stuff. He posts this card to taunt them, and then Melanie replies to it. So things like that are seen as her co-signing it, and she has not, even to this point, spoken up on her friend that, well, he pays her, so people have a problem with that too. And then she's not speaking up on the deplatforming. And so it's not, oh, well, I'm not going to apologize for not having a friend on. It's the fact there's no pushback, and the Kino Casino is not able to go on their YouTube and defend themselves. So that's why people wanted me on. And if you didn't want to have me on, then it should have probably been you that gave some pushback, considering that Nina had given you the rundown on stream. And it was enough to have some red flags. And even though it's a mistake on your end, like, there's still like mistakes made that should, in my, if it were me, I would apologize. But it just,
sorry I didn't connect Melanie to Jeremy's drama. I didn't realize that what he did was her in some way she was complicit in. Like the tweet you're mentioning, I didn't see it. I'm not like up on everything. I'm not watching everybody's content. The only video that I ended up watching,
well, it was trending for like 3 weeks.
Okay, that's great. But you know what's also trending is my fucking personal life and the shitstorm that is my dad being murdered and other stuff that I don't want to get into. So sometimes
you don't have to.
Sometimes your 2-year-old does take precedent over the quartering drama, and I wish I could.
Yeah, but you're choosing to work, and your work is to be free speech. And then you platform.
My job is to be a mother. I stream to make diaper money, and again, I already said I dropped the ball. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I already said.
Well, you said you were bullied into it. That's the thing, Chrissy. I'm trying to point out to you that it feels inconsistent. You're saying, "Yay, hey, I dropped the ball," but hey, I'm also being bullied into it in the hostile chat, and then it feels like victimization, which is what Jeremy's been doing this whole time, which is why he had to delete his Twitter account today and run away.
Good. Let's go.
Well, yeah, because it is about platforming, and unfortunately, Kino Casino can't be here to address it because Jeremy removed them, and as well as flagging other people and your co-host. He came for your co-host as well from FNT.
Yeah, I hope everybody who had their channels taken down by him gets them back. That's really messed up, and that's not cool.
Well, it seems
I think
when you have Melanie on, and she's sweeping for it by not acknowledging it repeatedly, and you say, well, hey, I'm not here to talk about that with Melanie. Well, look how it turned out. And it's a conflict of interest because you're having someone that's helping getting people that me, your co-host, other people. She's co-signing them getting the platform. And for all we know, this stream could go down too because of it.
Well, she was pretending also that like there's no like every mention of him possibly being involved in the flagging was like a conspiracy theory, like likened to the SJWs spreading lies to get people deplatformed. And that was just not the case. He was like openly bragging about how people were gonna feel his wrath, and that's especially if you don't understand that context fully, or if you don't like see that happening in real time.
Well, here's the thing. She's Chrissie's point of contention with that is that, well, she didn't know that Melanie was connected with that. But my point of contention with that is that, and it's not about like paying for the sins of friends. Melanie herself did something wrong as a content creator that is supposed to be pro free speech. And by platforming her and her sweeping under the rug and it not being pressed, because you didn't press her on it despite Nina giving you information on him deplatforming. So that's what needs to be acknowledged. And it just feels like it keeps turning into like my toddler, which of course Chrissie is a mom and she should prioritize that. But it comes to a point where it's like, okay, well, you have to pick a lane. If you can do the job, then do the job when you need to press someone about deplatforming, because otherwise it turns into this. And I think that needs to acknowledge instead of,
okay, I hear you saying that,
hey, this happened. It's like, every time I'm saying, hey, this happened, it's like met with like a non-answer.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry you feel hurt. I just got to get through some of these. Jake Lesba.
See, there it is again. That I feel hurt. It's never about what you do.
I'm sorry you are hurt.
You don't know how to apologize.
I'm sorry, Brittany.
I'm sorry for lying about you. I'm sorry for hurting you and lying about it to everyone. And even when you're pressed on it, you continue to. That would be a real apology, to acknowledge it and apologize for what you did. Not, I feel like you're sad and I'm sorry you're sad. That's not a real apology. And that's the problem here. And this is why the stream is not going to go over well.
You're interrupting me. I feel like you
wasn't
care
done.
more about how you look and
There we go
how
again.
you're coming off. I'm just saying how I feel in this moment. I just feel like your tone and the way you're talking to me, it doesn't seem friendly. It doesn't seem like you're trying to understand and give me grace and
I gave you plenty of grace, Chrissie, especially when I saw that you lied about me.
Let me finish. It just it seems like you're fixated on me apologizing to you in a very specific way. And again, like I said before, if I could go back in time and have you on and you could have said everything you wanted to say and called out everything you wanted to call out, would have been a different show. It would have been, everything would have been different. And I know this comes from a frustration that people have. Like, they want accountability. They want Melanie to answer for these things. They want Quartering to answer for these things. And that outrage is so justified. And again, I hope that these people that really got their livelihoods taken away, I hope their channels are restored.
Well, then send people appealing to join.
That's the most important part, is that these people were false flagged, and they need to get their channels back. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, with this lawsuit. I might have to.
Andy Worski asked for a link on the Kino Casino wants on. So if you believe in platforming them, you can. It's your choice. But I just don't think that things are actually being acknowledged, and it's a bunch of I feel and like I'm being bullied and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying. And I don't think it's good faith for you to say that, oh, well, I'm not acting friendly. I've been more than friendly and charitable. And I'm addressing the fact that I was misled and lied to, and then continue to lie until I back you in the corner and say, Chrissie, I saw you read it, for you to finally admit it. That's accountability. It's to say, I'm sorry for that.
I'm sorry that it was too late in my stream to have you on. I'm sorry, like that.
You see, non-apology. You don't know how to apologize. You don't know how to acknowledge what you do, Chrissie. And you benefit and make money off of being free speech.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Your clipping of my show sucks dick.
Without Dave, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, now we know who to blame.
If you enjoyed this clip, you can thank the ultimate life form by using the super tip link in the description. Do it or don't.
Final Boss. That's right, Final Boss. I love Final Boss.
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Dave, where are you, David?